Good evening, this is Carrington Catania here with WKTV, and I am at Unity In Community here in Kentwood, just at the urban farm. Good evening, this is Carrington Catania. I am here at Unity In Community in Kentwood with...
My name's Melinda.
And Deb.
Melinda and Deb. Deb, can you tell me a little bit about just the history of like where I am? And it's just a kind of farm in the city.
So true. We are a farm in the city. We moved here about 6 years ago, and we do a non-riding therapy program for youth and adults that are experiencing various situations and circumstances that they're struggling or having a hard time dealing with. And so we call that trauma, and we can call that also grief and loss, and kids that are experiencing bullying and abuse. Yeah, so that's what we do. And it's all non-riding, so our horses can be taken from their original use of riding, and we use them in their encore life as a part of their a way that they can impact people in a different way, not riding them.
That is so fantastic. Now, Melinda, can you tell me a bit about what Unity In Community is, what's going on here today?
Sure. Unity In Community is, well, you can see the farm is in the middle of Kentwood. It's in the city. So this is an event for the neighborhood, the Kentwood neighborhood that's around the farm, to come and experience a little bit what farm life is like. They can pet animals, see animals, do some fun games and activities. So yeah, it's a great event for the community.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me out here tonight.
We enjoy having all new people come and be a part of the farm.
Yeah.
It's like a really great feeling to share what we have to offer here.
Thank you.
You took my sins and all of my sorrows when you gave your life on the cross.
Hi, this is Carrington Catania, and I'm with the Kent County Mounted Unit. I'm here with, what's your name?
Deputy Vanderveen.
Deputy Vanderveen. I have a few questions. I was wondering if you could answer about the Mounted Unit. So how long have you been a part of the Mounted Unit?
I've been fortunate enough to have been part of the unit since 2007 when it first started, before we even had horses. It's been a long progress. Our unit actually started from our traffic squad, who raised money and funds to get us where we're at today. A lot of the funds that came in were donations and fundraisers, and one of the main things that makes us all possible with these horses is this university in Kentucky, Ashbury, who trains our mounted unit horses. Right here, Lincoln's a 4-year-old perch run thoroughbred cross. What happens is this university will take on these horses and train them. So they may get 10 horses and maybe only 4 of them will make it. We're fortunate enough to be able to get him this past year. Other agencies, as far as like New York and Kentucky, also go through this program to get these horses to be able to have mounted units going.
So you said that he came from Kentucky. Now, what kind of things do they do down there at the program to get these horses ready? Like, what are some requirements, and what are some things that they do to desensitize these horses to working?
So one of the major things is horses are herd animals, so spooking, desensitizing. For example, you saw earlier maybe the boy that was roping. That will actually scare a horse and want to run away. So we work on these things where they trust us enough to stay where we ask. A lot of the other things are ground manners. Like, for example, he's staying here, but he's eating the grass, which is, he's happy as all good out. But the other nonsense such as the plastic blowing, the saddle, the tent, the bean bags getting thrown, he's fine with it. Most horses would take off running. We do a lot of other things like crowd control with large groups, with noises. Not only that, just proper riding. Being able to trail ride in the woods, trail ride down the streets, cars, buses, anything that seems like a norm for you not necessarily is for a horse. And not only that is with a horse, a lot of people don't realize what you train on one side, you have to also train on the other. So it takes double the amount of time to train a horse than it does, for example, a dog.
What a very special horse Lincoln is indeed. Now, what do you do as you're a sheriff, a part of the mounted unit? What kind of jobs do you and your horse do?
A lot of the jobs are traffic. So we've done downtown, say there's a run going on. For example, the breast cancer run that'll be coming up. We'll help shut down intersections. So we might shut down the first one and proceed to the next one to save time. Crowd control, when there's different protests, we're down there. We do a lot of parades, different functions such as this here today, which is great seeing everybody out in the community and interacting and meeting the little roper we had earlier. And it's a different feeling than when you're in a cruiser or a car. Who wants to come home and pet a car? You know, they see the horse. It's a friendlier setup. We have done search and rescues also in heavy wooded areas. We're able to get into areas where others can't.
That's very awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you, Lincoln, for being a part of this interview. This is Carrington Catania at Unity In Community here in Kentwood. I am with these two volunteers.
I'm Wendy.
And I'm Jackie.
Wendy and Jackie. So how long have you guys been volunteering here?
I've been here over 3 years.
I actually started when they first became a nonprofit. I think it's been about 6 years now, maybe even 8, and I got to serve on the board. So it's been an honor, and it's so cool to watch this community grow and the outreach, and man, this is a place that's needed, isn't it?
Fantastic. Now, what do you guys do as volunteers?
Well, I mainly take care of the horses. I volunteer every Saturday. I make sure they get fed on that Saturday morning, let out, clean stalls, brush the horses. That's about it.
Awesome. Well, I have had the honor to work with Deb when she comes in here in the arena, working with different groups of people. Now, it's been a while since she's actually been in here with them, but she has the mobile unit now. But it is so amazing watching her come in here. She's on. When she steps in the arena with the horses, she's a totally different person. And you watch the magic happen. I've seen lives changed. I've seen light bulbs come on because of the horses and what she does.
That's awesome. So, why do you guys volunteer? Like, what makes you feel called and led to be here?
This is my peace. This is where I get my peace. I'm a nurse, so the horses, I don't have to talk to people. They listen. They're just, they're grateful. They're fun to be with, and it just gives me a peace and peace of mind.
I like seeing people empowered, and that is one of the things that happens whether they're young or old, people come in here and get empowered by the horses. Maybe they've had some fears, so that's why I come. I mean, I come to volunteer, but I get more out of it than what I give, for sure.
Me too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I personally have horses, and I've been riding, and I've owned horses for years, and they are very, very therapeutic animals indeed. Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you.
Good Carrington Catania here at Unity in Community. I am with
Scott Shaw.
Scott Shaw. So, Scott, can you tell me like what this is all about and what your guys' mission is?
Yeah, at Equine Assisted Development, we're promoting basically unity in the community. It's an organization that serves those that have experienced trauma using the therapeutic power of horses. So it's a refuge in the city that provides hope and healing.
So, therapeutic, like with horses, you were saying horses. Have you grown up with horses? Have you been around horses your whole life? Is this something kind of new? Like what kind of got you into it?
Yeah, I didn't grow up with horses, but my folks had horses, have been around the farm. And then for me, having a mental health background, I'm a counselor, social worker, and just knowing the power of the EAD model and the treatment that's done with horses, it's just incredible for those that have experienced trauma, difficult life circumstances, and just seeing the amazing work that's done here. I wanted to get involved.
That's really cool. So, how many horses do you guys work with in your program?
Well, we have a couple on site, but we also have several that are off site too. So, in part, we're limited by the location here, and now that our barn is burned down a couple years ago, about a year and a half ago, we're getting ready for a capital campaign and trying to get the community involved to see what can be done here, and just helping those that are struggling and being an urban farm.
Yeah, you guys definitely are an urban farm. Like you said, you're in the middle of the city in Kentwood. That's really cool. Where do you guys find these horses that are, do you guys kind of train them yourselves for this type of work, or do you find them already, desensitized and ready to go into this type of work with kids and adults and just anybody?
Yeah, some of the horses themselves are rescues, but there's a fair amount of work that goes into working with horses and, getting them ready to help people. And then, of course, our trained staff and those that are trained in the EAD model just do the amazing work together. It's quite an amazing fusion.
Yeah, so I know, I feel like I've heard that you guys are doing, it's a non-riding therapeutic. So you guys, you're not riding the horses. So what kind of things, do you do with the horses, like in a session?
Yeah, the horses they're non-predator animals. They're prey. They eat grass. There's nothing that really horses would come after. So that makes them unique in just being able to read the emotions of people, and they're an incredible adjunct to the therapeutic process. So the model that our specialists and our therapists use is called EAD, and it's a non-riding program that uses horses as part of the therapy itself.
That's really cool. Yeah, I've grown up with horses, and I've had horses myself, and they are very therapeutic animals indeed. Thank you so much for talking with me today, Scott.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good evening. This is Carrington here with Miss Lori Ray Magnus. She's just here at Unity Community with me, and we're just checking it out. Can you tell me kind of a bit about what you're doing here and what's kind of sparked your interest to come out here?
Sure. My granddaughter is an equestrian, and so we're around horses quite a bit, and I'm a little familiar with that. And I found out from a coworker at Kawasaki Precision that they were having this event, and of course, for anything for the community is a great thing to go do. And actually, it's been a lot of fun. Free meal, see the horses, kids having fun. You can't miss it next year. Make sure you come next year. It's really a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. It sounds like we've been having a great time out here, even though the weather has been a little cold and wet. There's a lot of people here, and yeah, definitely a great community event for Kentwood. Good evening. I'm I'm Karen DeCatania here at Unity In Community. I'm here with
Kate McIntyre.
Kate McIntyre. I saw you were working with one of the horses back there. Can you tell me a little bit about that horse? And I saw there was a goat following you guys around too. Can you tell me a little bit about the animals and what you do with them?
Absolutely. So Rita is the most recent addition to our herd. She came to us last winter, I believe. She is a very, very special horse. She's part of our mobile happiness unit, where we take her to different locations where people can't come to us to get that connection with the animal. We take her to retirement communities. She goes to the veterans home. And the goat you saw is Tiny. They're like best friends. He thinks he's a horse. So he loves to follow them around and go everywhere the horse is and doesn't care about the female goats at all.
That is really cool. So Rita is the horse's name? Yes. Okay, so you said she travels a lot. So she's constantly getting in and out of trailers. Yes. And so how does she do with that? She's probably pretty well trained with trailering.
Yes, she was already used to that before we got her and everything. So she loads very nicely. She travels calmly. You know, if the horse can't do that, they can't provide that service to the people they're going to see. So she's just such a mellow, sweet girl.
I agree. Yeah. Thank you. Second favorite. There's so many cool horses out on this farm. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Absolutely.
Search my soul, make me brand new, break me down, build me up, make me more like you. Guard my heart, guard the words I speak, lead me far from temptation, give me strength when in my flesh I'm weak. Let your love wash over me. I wanna be a light in all the darkest places, a beacon of your love and grace, a shining city set high upon a hill. Give me the courage to boldly speak the truth, unafraid of what this world might do. Created in me a joy to do your will. Jesus, let my heart be still. Let my heart be still. Guide my steps when the road is long. If I get weary, faint of heart, give me the strength to press on. Jesus, help me to finish strong. I wanna be a light in all the darkest places, a beacon of your love and grace, a shining city set high.
Thank you so much for joining us here at Unity In Community at the Urban Farm in Kentwood. Have a good night.
Give me the courage to boldly speak the truth, unafraid of what this world might do. Create in me a joy to do your will. Jesus, let my heart